Hello and welcome to Weird Around Illinois. Today we're going to talk about cryptids and the government. And I know this is a subject we've talked about before. And, we've always talked about the possibility that some cryptids are either created by the government or modified by the government. And we've even had, witnesses on here who've talked about that. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've always been a little skeptical. Just because I could never quite see the value of that, or at least not the payoff for the investment that you'd have to make in that kind of a program. But then I was watching this show, Alien Earth, and big spoiler alert here, there is a character in Alien Earth who can actually talk to and seemingly control one of the xenomorph aliens, where it was basically like a hunting dog for them. And I thought that it kind of opened my eyes and made me think, wow, that would be quite a weapon on a battlefield, or quite a useful tool in other circumstances. So it kind of made me stop and take another look at this whole idea of the government pursuing the experimentation on cryptids as a possible, way to do things. So with that in mind, we should probably talk about which cryptids are usually like at the top of the list when we talk about the government. I mean, in terms of like a lab-created cryptid, dogman gets thrown out there a lot.
Had plenty of people say it. They're definitely all the government. There's like two different things, of course, the natural and the government-made, and yeah, they sound the most dangerous out of anything.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most logical sense. I mean, that's like, if you were to like make a laundry list of characteristics you'd want in your, weapon, the dogman seems to have them all, or most of them.
Yeah.
But there are other cryptids, though, too. I know the chupacabra has come up sometimes as possibly being a government cryptid that escaped from a lab or something.
Oh, I mean, even Bigfoot, for all we know. I mean, they're not known to be aggressive, but they do seem to be strong and fast.
And they've been around for so long, though. My inclination with Bigfoot is to think that maybe they weren't created by the government, but maybe they're being modified by the government.
Possibly. Or covered up by the government.
yeah, which is a whole other discussion. If they didn't create the cryptids, why is the government trying to cover them up?
So for Bigfoot, would that have to mean that they're leaving the Bigfoot in a natural environment, but just like, giving it nutrients or something that would change it overall?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it means that, or maybe it means they're like capturing Bigfoot and experimenting on him and trying to enhance his muscles and speed and everything, and then occasionally one gets out into the natural environment. And I've also heard Mothman thrown out there as a possible government cryptid just because he was first seen around those government test sites and the dynamite factory and stuff.
Guess so. The more mysterious the cryptid is, really, the more chance it could be.
Yeah.
And I guess in Mothman's case, it's pretty mysterious.
Yeah.
And we've talked about how you gotta have like a fighting chance at fighting Dogman, as funny as that sounds. Mm-hmm. You never know what their capabilities could be.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, talking about their capabilities, I mean, what are some of the capabilities that we see in these cryptids that might be attractive to the government in whatever capacity?
Well, one thing is speed. A lot of these cryptids seem to have a lot of speed, especially Dogman, like we're talking about. Mm-hmm. They're known to run like as fast as cars even.
Yeah, 60, 70 miles an hour, I think, for short distances. Bigfoot's no slouch either. I mean, heard stories of him running so fast that, he can, like, cover a road in, like, one leap and just keep running. And, 1 minute he's there, the next minute he's, 300 yards away.
Yeah, true. He seems fast with the leaps, in particular.
Yeah.
And of course, Mothman is known to fly really fast at times.
Yeah, another one keeping up with a speeding car. I think they said close to 100 miles an hour.
And of course, strength as well. Like I was saying earlier, Bigfoot is known to be really strong. Of course, Dogman is supposed to be like the strongest of them all, really.
Are we going to start that debate again?
Yeah, the whole debate of if the Dogman has stronger legs or arms. It's super strength in comparison to humans. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah.
But Bigfoot can throw a whole rock, supposedly. So,
like a boulder.
Yeah, and not just the one's like small one, a giant boulder.
Yeah.
One that could count as a meteor.
I mean, I have to say, every time I've heard about a story between an encounter between a Bigfoot and a Dogman, The full-size Bigfoot seems to be an overmatch for a dogman, just in terms of strength. Now, I haven't seen every story of every encounter, but the ones that I've seen, it's always been, the dogman is winning until the Bigfoot picks him up and throws him into another state. And
Yeah. Whenever I've seen a story like that, I just wonder, how rare is it for just, like, a human or any organism to be able to witness that?
Right.
Like, two super rare cryptids in one space fighting each other. That's just so beyond belief.
You'd expect to hear that they won the lottery on the way home or something.
Yeah.
So another one is agility. They're just overall known to move really quickly in a variety of instances.
And jump and climb and anything physical. It just seems like they can do it better than a human being could.
Yeah. And I mean, the reason why this is true is because if any of these cryptids are living in the forest, especially Bigfoot as the main example of this, you have to be really agile, moving through the forest at that size, or like 7 to 8 feet tall, pretty muscular, and still able to dodge all the stuff without getting horribly hurt.
That's a good point. I'm what, 6'1", and I worry about hitting my head on branches when I'm moving through the forest.
Yeah, there's got to be some level of flexibility.
Yeah,
this as well,
and hyper awareness too.
Yeah.
I mean, to be moving around those trees and everything. I mean, if I had to move that fast, I'd probably trip a lot because there's so many branches around.
And he's barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens when he stubs his toe?
Oh,
Yeah.
You don't want to be around.
No.
And there's special abilities that some cryptids are sometimes known to have. We don't know for sure though. Like portal generation.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's favorite.
And it's really been attributed to all of the big three cryptids. I mean, Bigfoot, they talk about him using the trees as portals, and Dogman, the infamous fog, and Mothman talk about him being able to disappear and appear at will.
Yeah.
And then there's also shape-shifting. We often talk about the skinwalker, and they're able to like shape-shift into different animal.
Right.
To say that Bigfoot and Dogman aren't connected to that.
It
can't shape-shift themselves either.
It would explain why they're so hard to find. And of course, some theories of Dogman literally go with the half man, half canine thing, and changes into a human when he's not in dog form. And Bigfoot, there have been shape-shifting things attributed to him in the past. The stories are rare, but every now and then you'll hear that theory thrown out that Bigfoot can look like other creatures. And I've even heard some people try to make the case that Bigfoot and Dogman are actually the same creature, and that those are just different forms he can take.
Or it's just like a weird morph that a skinwalker can make out of different organisms. Right.
Yeah, like instead of picking up a wolf skin, he picks up like a wolf skin and a human skull or something, morphs into a human dog, like a Dogman.
That is freaky.
And they could possibly cloak.
Oh yeah.
Bigfoot sometimes known to cloak.
Yeah. Well, Lon Strickler was actually just about to do a book on those, wasn't he?
The Glimmer Man.
The Glimmer Man, right? Yeah, that's like a cloaked figure of some sort.
And like we were saying with Mothman could fly. I think there's a few other cryptids. Like I think we've heard of the Mothman Dogman hybrid kind of thing. Could fly.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Well, again, that could be your skinwalker that put on the moth and the dog and who knows?
Yeah.
But those are all attributes that I would think would be really, really valuable to many different branches of government.
But although there are, a lot of benefits to this, there are definitely some problems that could come by. They don't have the right resource to keep creatures in check.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, one of them is just they could lose control of these beings. You've seen so many movies of how they have some superior being overall that whether they made it like homemade completely or based off of something else that's more natural. There's always a plot where they lose control of it.
Just saw that in Alien Earth.
Yep, probably. Yep. Yeah, and then it could roam free. It could escape. It could gain a mind of its own and cause a lot of problems and go into the public where people don't know.
So all of those attributes that we just talked about that make it like a super weapon could suddenly make it your worst enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, suddenly it could become a full-out war where you have to get a bunch of soldiers out there just to defeat it. That would actually be a good movie plot, but...
Yeah. I will make note of that.
Yeah.
Although I'm still working on my Dogman versus Bigfoot movie. Probably going to be the first cryptid film that I do.
Yeah, better get that on Tubi.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you lose control of something, obviously there's, I guess, publication, if that's the right term to use. If there's something this powerful in your hands, in the government's hands, they have to do a really, really perfect job of keeping it a secret. And in my eyes, I don't think that could happen.
Yeah, it's a tough ask. I mean, to ask them to keep either a 8-foot tall hairy cryptid or, you know, an extremely hyper violent canine cryptid or a flying cryptid, to keep that secret. And the stakes are so high if you don't. I mean, you know, the government does not want to be on a press conference explaining that, oh yeah, we've got this army of dogmen in Missouri that we've been training for the last 100 years or 50 years, and yeah, we had to kill a few people to do it, but it's all good now. We've got this under control.
Yeah, you know, if it's Mothman's case, sure, it's so high that you could absolutely pretend like, oh no, that was just a plane. That was like a little fighter jet that you just made a mistake on.
Which they may be doing.
Yeah, probably.
In the Chicago thing, at least there have been some credible reports that the Chicago City Council and maybe the mayor were working to cover that up. Yeah, so that's the most likely thing I could think of. But like when it comes to land creatures, no chance you could just, you know, pretend that was something else. Yeah.
Well, and also there's like reports of people seeing the Men in Black, Point Pleasant, where they seem to get people to stop talking about it. Then we have like no reports of these things.
Yeah, that's true. And then that's another government agency that is, you know, sometimes attributed to these things, and that could be an effort to cover these things up. But, you know, at some point the Men in Black became part of the story.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be, you know, the men in the suits would show up and, you know, everybody would shut up for fear of being in trouble. But now if the men in suits show up, people are videoing them too. And it's like, hey, check this out. I got the Men in Black on video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird age we live in. It's got to be very frustrating for the government when they're trying to keep secrets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the internet is really good at releasing secrets, for sure.
Yeah. Maybe that's why there's so much coming out now that wasn't before. You know, like about the UFOs and everything. But they're still not willing to come out and say that Bigfoot is real, Dogman is real, or any of that.
Yeah, and just, I mean, one last question. How would they give order to those creatures?
Yeah, communication's a real issue.
Yeah.
I mean, with Dogman, I mean, you've got trained dogs who will listen to commands, and, you know, you can snap your fingers or blow a whistle or whatever.
Give it a woof? Is that why it goes away?
Yeah, that obviously Russell was in the Dogman training program when he was in the Special Forces, and he knew that the Dogman was coming after him. You have to say woof, 'cause
yes.
That's the deactivation.
Eventually we'll have to talk about why the government might be against cryptids too, because
Yeah.
they often seem to be like shooting at cryptids or stuff like that, and
Maybe
we'll have to go into that someday.
Well, for the purposes of this discussion, maybe those are the ones that got away, and they're just trying to cover it up by destroying it.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like what a lot of powerful governments do.
Yeah. But to your point about communication, I mean, the Dogman, I think you would use simple canine commands. But how do you control a Mothman? I mean, would that be like telepathic or radio waves? And, you know, Bigfoot, does he actually have a language? Is he human enough that you could actually teach him complicated words?
That's why before I was talking about eventually they gain consciousness. Maybe they're not conscious necessarily. They're like subconscious, just doing the movements.
Maybe they can communicate with frequency, because we had, what, the 1.4 gigahertz? Or hertz?
Oh, the
40 hertz.
40 hertz, yeah. Yeah, that's the Bigfoot summoning frequency, apparently.
Yeah, and what maybe they like communicate with Bigfoot using different frequency. Maybe that's how they even control it.
But can the creatures communicate back to the government? because I mean, I'll get into applications in a minute, but it would seem to me like it would be really handy to have a two-way street. I mean, if you send a soldier into a battlefield, after the battle's over, if he survives, he's not just coming back empty-handed. He's coming back and telling you, okay, they got 17 tanks. I saw fighters overhead. They've got mines laid down right at these coordinates. This is what we're going to need to worry about when we come back.
Here's an idea. You attach a GoPro to his head or somewhere. It's just a small camera.
Maybe if they're genetically modified, maybe they've actually implanted the camera like between their eyes or something.
That'd be wise.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that kind of leads us into applications. I mean, the first thing I always think about is combat. And, the dogman particularly, I mean, that's your super soldier. Yeah, our guest Henry even told us that's what they were there for. They were like calling in an artillery strike. When you need an entire town wiped out or an entire regiment wiped out, you call for the dogman squad, they drop them in there, and boom, everybody's gone.
Yeah. I mean, that sums it up pretty much. Very powerful beings, sure.
Yeah.
Do a lot.
But what would be the benefit to like a Bigfoot? I mean, would that be...
brute strength.
Yeah, brute strength. I suppose if you needed to like breach something, if you needed to smash your way into a building or smash through a wall or something, it would be really handy.
Yeah.
Mothman would be good for, flying over a wall. But I think then you're getting into more surveillance, which, is also part of combat, but it could also be, not combat. It could be just peacetime surveillance. Mothman would be great at gathering information, flying into places, checking things out. Is he really better than a drone?
There's probably more maintenance to it.
Yeah, unless you disguise your drone to look like Mothman, so you can terrorize people at the same time.
Yeah.
And, in terms of surveillance, I guess you could use Bigfoot or Dogman to do surveillance like in wooded areas and stuff. If you think there's like a hidden missile emplacement or something out in the middle of the woods, you want them to go check it out. Other than that, I can't really think of many uses that would be worth the billions of dollars they would have to spend on this project.
No, but I did come up with another question about how the government would manage these things. How would they, like I said before, maintenance? How would they keep these things alive? How are they living?
Well, I mean, it sounds like, and again, I'm going to use Henry's example because he's the only person I've talked to who claims to have firsthand knowledge of this stuff. Like in the case of the dogmen, the army keep them in like a hangar or a barracks of some sort, like cages inside, and they let them out and feed them and, let them run around a little bit and come back in and, just maintain them like they would maintain attack dogs or something.
Oh, makes sense.
It does. I mean, it makes sense for Dogman because there's more of a canine feel to it. But if we're talking about Mothman or Bigfoot, I mean, can't imagine Bigfoot, if he's as intelligent as people think he is, I can't imagine he's going to be happy being kept in a cage for long. What do you do when your Bigfoot gets depressed?
Yeah.
You send him out there to, find out what's in this deep forest, and he's having an existential crisis, and you find him sitting on the side of a hill crying. I mean, it's not good for anybody, especially not him.
Yeah, it better not be of human descent.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of disorders that come with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any purpose for the government to using them. I just feel like it would be to protect them. I would say the forest, but I don't know how much the government wants to protect forest.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Bigfoot seems to be a natural protector of the forest, so that would be a good use for him.
Yeah.
Oh, the final question, I guess, here is, are cryptids better than humans for some things?
I don't see anything on this list that humans can't do with technology.
Yeah.
I think technology is more dependable and probably cheaper in the long run and has a lower downside. So if it were me making the decisions, I don't think I would have a cryptid program in my military. I think I would just use that money to buy bigger, faster, stronger tech. But that being said, our military has invested in some weird stuff. So
Sure they have. I can't think of any examples that you're talking about.
Oh, I can.
Oh.
Project Stargate, where they were They were using remote viewers to do surveillance on foreign sites and other classified sites. Something called the Gateway Project, or exploring the use of basically meditation to rewrite reality.
Oh, crap.
Yes.
I think I got to read into some of these.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, we'll have more podcasts on those in the future. But yeah, these are the CIA actually released documents, declassified documents on Project Gateway.
Oh my.
And Project Stargate has been well known. We'll hear Lon Strickler talking about that in our interview with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the government is not above spending money on the paranormal or things that other people might think were crazy.
Here's another idea. What if there's like UFOs in the sky, like at night and stuff, and they release cryptids so we don't see the UFOs that were distracted from seeing the cryptids?
All right.
So like whenever somebody's looking up at the sky for too long, Bigfoot comes and shakes a tree.
Yeah.
I could see that. That would be a government project right there.
Yeah.
That makes total government logic.
Yeah, they've done some ridiculous things, so why not?
Yeah, so I mean, what about you guys? Can you think of any other cases or any other places where you would rather have a cryptid than a human? Or
Not really. I mean, with AI, artificial intelligence, and robots in general, I think it would be a better investment to make a giant robot replace Bigfoot. Or, like the Bionic Man episode, maybe Bigfoot is a robot.
that's a whole other discussion, but I think there could be some truth to that one now. Why not just make your giant killer robot and cover it with hair so you can scare the heck out of people as well as attacking them?
I guess it'll make it anonymous. It would make it kind of expensive too, though.
Yeah, because making robots look human actually is very expensive. It's easier to just build a functional robot that does what you want it to do without worrying about trying to make it look humanoid or like a Bigfoot or something. Again, lots of discussions for the future.
Yeah.
But, for right now, I mean, there are definite benefits to cryptids that, I could see that encouraging the military or the government to at least pursue that as an experiment, but I can't imagine that they would go into like mass production of armies of cryptids, because I just don't think there's enough bang for the buck. I think there are cheaper ways to do it.
Especially with how few there seems to be. The point.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's why there are so few. Maybe this was like a test project from the 1960s and didn't know what to do with them when the project was over, so now they're kind of roaming the forests.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and if any of you have knowledge of any of these government programs and want to anonymously tell us about it so that the men in black don't show up on your door, we'd love to hear about it. But as always, thank you for subscribing, thank you for listening, and please remember to hit the like button.